Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyerboxingnews.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Today is September the 28th, 2012. Here are the boxing stories on my mind right now. Tomorrow, in fact, less than 24 hours from now, I'm expecting well-known fighter and former champion Vic Darchinyan to lose to a lesser known fighter, a fighter who's younger, a fighter who's known to gamblers because he's the mild favorite in the fight, but he might not be known to the general public. You need to know of this guy. I believe tomorrow he breaks global by beating Darchinyan. His name is Luis Del Valle. And he is, in addition to being unbeaten, he's a three-time New York Golden Glove champion. His nickname is Orlandito, right? He is a natural technician. It's just how he thinks. It's just how he perceives the sport. And this guy is a big-time talent, right? He's the kind of guy who can be defensive while coming forward. He makes adjustments. He comes in on angles. He's a counterpuncher with exquisite timing, right? He will abandon the jab, come in, start hitting you with body shots, and you still won't be able to land a clean punch on him. The only question I have in my mind is whether or not Vic Darchinyan, who has one of the better punches, pound for pound, in the sport, can land a haymaker to get the knockout. The bet I'm recommending is Del Valle to win the fight, and I expect him to win, straddled against Darchinyan by KO. I do not see Vic Darchinyan being able to outbox Del Valle as he has done to others in the past. Most notably, Yanni Perez. Darchinyan was outboxing him before completely finishing Perez in something like 5 rounds, right? Here, I think Darchinyan gets outboxed. Let me make a few other points, too. This is going to be a different fight than the Nino Donaire Vic Darchinyan. There, Donaire was on his back foot, waited for Darchinyan to come forward, and then was able to knock him out. Del Valle is so good that I'm expecting him to be on his front foot, hunting down Vic Darchinyan. Del Valle reminds me of James DeGale and Dmitry Pirog, right? Serious, major talent. I'm expecting him to beat Darchinyan. Let's also remember, Darchinyan is 36 years old now. He's lost his last 2 to Camilo Moreno, who I have on my pound-for-pound list, as well as to Yamanaka, right? But there is a wrinkle in that Darchinyan is a southpaw. He's very unorthodox. It might give a young fighter problems at first, but I believe Del Valle is such a technician and such an elite counterpuncher, I'm expecting him to solve that puzzle. Okay, so I like Del Valle to win, straddle against Darchinyan by KO. And let me point out, Del Valle is actually the favorite in the fight. You need to know who he is. Okay, let's talk about Ricky Hatton against Vyacheslav Senchenko. Right now, people know that I'm a skeptic of Hatton's comeback. I believe that comeback is ultimately going to end badly, right? I believe that when Ricky Hatton, who isn't that good a boxer, he's certainly not that good a counterpuncher, and he has a hitch in his punches, right? When Ricky Hatton faces a fighter with good lateral movement, who can stay in the pocket as Hatton comes upon them, right? go to the side and throw hooks, I think Ricky Hatton will get roughed up just like he got roughed up in the Manny Pacquiao fight. But I don't see that happening in this fight. I actually believe Ricky Hatton wins this fight. I think he beats Senchenko, right? For a host of reasons. First, let me say this. Let's remember what Ricky Hatton does well. He can dodge a jab with the best of them. He has great foot speed. He's almost like Mike Tyson in that he can literally walk inside. He'll even drop his hands and he'll move his head a little bit, dodge the jab, then literally smother you. Ricky Hatton is a smotherer. He's not a boxing technician from the outside. He's not going to outbox you. He's not going to counterpunch you to death. He's not going to patiently wait for openings and then exploit them. No, what he is, and he has his own technique, is he's an inside fighter who slips your jab, gets under you, and then starts throwing very hard punches inside. Well, let me just say, he's 5'7½". His opponent here is 5'10", and I don't think Senchenko can fight inside, right? I believe even though he has great footwork, it's the kind of footwork that operates best from distance. It's not the kind of footwork that operates when his opponent is up close. I think Ricky Hatton, and I understand there is a timing gap. I understand he fought Floyd in 2007. He fought Paulie Malignaggi in 2008. He's been out of the ring for 3 years. But I believe since Ricky Hatton doesn't really rely that much on timing, even a rusty Ricky Hatton should be able to run the red lights, as he always does, get inside against a guy who doesn't have a lot of power. He should be able to get inside on his opponent and then literally make it a brawl where his opponent doesn't have any answers. Let me point out that Floyd Mayweather can fight inside. When Ricky Hatton came inside on Floyd, who's not much taller than Ricky Hatton, Floyd was actually able to outwork Ricky Hatton inside. He was able to defense what Ricky Hatton was doing inside, and Floyd was able to literally get off great shots. Then Floyd was able to time Ricky Hatton on the way in, lay on the ropes, and throw a check left hook. Right? Manny Pacquiao, different strategy. Pacquiao tried to keep it in the middle of the ring, but Pacquiao had that great lateral movement that I was talking about. He had much faster hand speed than Ricky Hatton, who will never match Manny Pacquiao's hand speed. And Pacquiao was able to literally pivot, move to the side, and find Ricky Hatton practically defenseless, because Hatton can't handle a guy who can stay in the pocket, move to the side, and throw hooks, right? Hatton was unable to pin Manny Pacquiao up on the ropes for any prolonged period of time like he was able to pin Costa Tszyu. Here, I actually believe Hatton did himself a favor by not picking Michael Casitas, right? Someone his height who'll give him problems. Here, Hatton can use his lack of height against a taller opponent who's accustomed to keeping guys outside. I believe Hatton gets him up on the ropes and then makes this a war of attrition where Hatton doesn't have to rely on timing in terms of countering what Senchenko's doing, because he'll be smothering him. Nor will he have to, worry about Senchenko's foot movement or jab, because he'll be inside of the jab and he'll have him pinned up on the ropes. Right? I think Ricky Hatton wins that fight. I would not even be surprised if Ricky Hatton wins the fight by KO. Right? I like Hatton in that fight. Let me make another point too. The fight's in Manchester, Hatton's backyard. The thing with guys like Ricky Hatton is when he's aggressive and he's coming forward and he has you on your back foot pinned up against the ropes, then he'll also be winning rounds. I don't even see his opponent winning a decision, right? I'll agree that there is a possibility, as there always is, anytime a guy's returning from being out of the ring for several years, there is a possibility that Hatton's light-hitting opponent gets a KO. Because what I've found is when a guy has been out of the ring for years and he comes back, he's more susceptible to injuries, right? Pulled muscles, torn rotator cuffs. Also, if the fight is not going his way and he feels that he's lost it, an old guy is not going to stick around simply to get beat up. So the bet I'm recommending, it's counterintuitive, is Hatton to win the fight, straddled against his opponent by KO. I just don't see what Senchenko has to keep Hatton outside. Let me point out too, this is going to be a very different fight than Senchenko against Paulie Malignaggi, where that was a jab fest in the middle of the ring with the fighters circling each other. This is literally going to be a smotherer against a tall guy who's accustomed to keeping guys outside at the end of his jab. Right? My point is simply, very few guys can fight inside. Ricky Hatton is one of them. If Ricky Hatton doesn't have to worry about getting hit with power shots on the way in, right? Ricky's willing to take a punch to get inside, then his opponent's going to be in big trouble. I'm expecting Hatton to get inside. I'm expecting Hatton to win this comeback. But I would hedge the play with the opponent by KO. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at DwyerBoxingNews.com and GamblersAdvisory.com. Thanks for watching.